ran a race? You ever wanted to run a race, maybe in school or field day, anything like that? When have you ran a race?
Just for fun.
Just for fun, yeah, just for fun. Maybe you're in the gym and you say, hey, let's run a race and we're gonna see who can get to the finish line.
I've done a hoverboard race.
You've done a hoverboard race. All right, there's all kind of races, right? Well, you need to, when you get ready to run a race, what are some things that we might need to do to prepare ourselves to run that race?
A lot of water.
A lot of water. What else?
A lot of training.
A lot of training. Maybe we need to set goals and try to meet that goal. And then every time we run, maybe we can try to make it to the finish line quicker than the goal we had previously set. Maybe we need to get a lot of sleep, enough sleep. Maybe we need to eat well, make sure that our body's just right ready to go for that race. I looked up an article about how long an athlete might train to be an Olympic athlete, to get to the point of the Olympics. On an average, and it varies, but it says on an average 4 to 8 years the athlete will train before making the team if they qualify, if they're good enough. And some may train for 5 to 7 hours a day. Can you imagine that? Training for 5, because we're done after like 30 minutes, we're done, right? Well, they train from anywhere from 5 to 7, sometimes even 8 hours a day. Well, there's a speed skater. And you know what speed skating is? When they skate really, really fast and they're trying to get to the finish line. Well, that's an Olympic sport. Well, this Olympian's name was Jessica Corman, and she said that she trains 6 days a week for 8 hours a day. That's a long time. That really is. And can you imagine? I mean, we get tired after we run, like, you know, I don't know, 5 minutes, right? Or I do. I can walk all day long, but if I'm running, I'm going to get more tired than if I were walking. But, you know, these athletes, they put in all this time just to meet that goal and to get to the finish line and get a reward. Well, I brought an extra, but I have 2 oranges here, okay, and some water and a jar here, and a finish well sign, okay? What are some things that you think weighs us down? Can you think something that weighs us down? Like, we talked about last week about maybe worry, it weighs us down, right? Or what about some things that might hinder us? Do you know what that means? Some things that just kind of weigh us down. Let me give you some examples and maybe you'll understand. Sin, let's write it on this orange. Sin, don't you think that kind of weighs us down? It does. It kind of bogs us down. Does that make better sense? We're going to write sin on this orange. It kind of hinders us. It weighs us down, okay? What about, let's see, not serving others for the Lord, right? Does that weigh us down? Not serving. Does that help us get to the finish line when we sin? No, it doesn't help us get to the finish line. It doesn't help us get to the finish line by not serving others. What about being unkind? Does that weigh us down? It does. What about lying? I think that weighs us down, right? Let's see what else I've got. Disobedience. That weighs us down. Okay. Well, the Bible tells us in Hebrews 12:1, it says this, let us lay aside every weight. We're going to pretend this is a weight, okay? Let us lay aside every weight and the sin which doth so easily beset us, and let us run the race with patience, the race that is set before us. Now, when we talk about our life, we talk about it's like a race. We want to get to the finish line, and we don't want any of these things to hinder us from getting to the finish line. Now, here it is. Here's our finish line. I'm going to kind of put it behind here. Actually, I'm going to put it to the bottom, okay? That says finish line on it. I'm going to put it underneath here. Okay, we're going to try to get to the finish line. Well, this one here that has all those things that weigh us down, see what happens. What happened? Did we get to the finish line? We didn't get to the finish line because these things are it's keeping us from getting to where we need to be, okay? But now I'm going to peel this orange. This is what I had for breakfast this morning. Do you like these? It's pretty good. So we're going to pretend all these things right here are written on here, all right? There's our unkindness. There's our sin, huh?
Disobedience.
Disobedience. There's that. This is our lying. This is our not serving others. Okay, so we've gotten rid of all those hindrances, okay? And remember, I said we want to try to get to the finish line. Now that we've gotten rid of all those things, what happened?
Got to the finish.
We got to the finish line because we said, you know, we don't need all that sin. We don't need all that lying. We don't need all the guilt and the not serving others, the disobedience. So we got rid of our hindrances, okay? And we were able to get to the finish line. It says, in Matthew 25:21, it says, well done, thy good and faithful servant. And that's where I want to be. I want to get to the finish line. And I don't want to have all these things weighing me down so that I can't get there. So I want to be able to stand before the Lord and Him say that I finished well. Okay?